In today's Sensei Market Update, we are going to talk about, of course, the crypto market. We are going to talk about what's happening with BioFi, some big changes in that community, and what's going on there. I know there's been a lot of questions, and I'm gonna answer some of those questions. I had a live space earlier today with Brian and Chris and Cyril, who's been doing some of the blockchain consulting for them. Also going to get into some other alpha. We're going to talk about, of course, the crypto market. I got some updates on Velo. I got some updates on Qubic. Some updates on some things that have been going around inside of the community. A lot of stuff to talk about here today. So let's start first with the crypto markets. Let me pull this up real quick. Is this the right one? Yeah. Okay. So, excuse me. Just to kind of take a look, just to update this. Bitcoin's up about 4.79%. Remember, usually May is a down month for Bitcoin, so we'll have to see how this thing turns out. Last 11 years, Bitcoin's been down 6 out of the 11 years, and so we'll just have to see. Bitcoin's actually up a few $1,000 from where kind of we hit it. Let me just show you here. Last 7 days, we kind of hit some peaks. I mean, some dips down here about 56,000, 57,000, and we're back up to 63. We pushed up to about almost 65,000. We hit a little bit of resistance, and now we're back down to 63,000. So it's good to see at least some green inside of the market. In the last 7 days, the biggest winners have been Render, AOIZ, of course, WorldCoin, Jupiter. Ajax has been actually pumping too. Ajax is at $1. That's pretty strong. I'm really getting excited about this Twin Protocol launch, guys. I know that some of you had the opportunity, if you guys were paying attention to these chats, if you were paying attention inside Sensei Market Update, I was telling you for months that this was coming, and we had a really good situation with the price that we were able to access Twin Protocol at 5 cents. Is actually a little bit better than some launch pads, and so I'm very excited about that. People were asking for updates. I've asked the team for an update of when they think they're going to launch. Obviously, they want better market conditions before they do launch, right? You're seeing a lot of things happening and a lot of things launching in 2024. A lot of airdrops, just the market is very saturated with actual good projects, but there's really kind of, money shifts from one chain to another. And so we just kind of have to play it and time it right. But Ajax, $1.27 billion market cap, right? I'm really excited, right? $104 million in 24-hour volume. So I'm excited to see some of this volume and this market cap pointed at Twin Protocol, which I think is actually going to happen. But let's start off first with what's going on with BioFi. So if you hadn't heard that BioFi is moving from AVAX to BNB chain, the BioFi team has a lot of goals that they're trying to achieve. And they feel that they can achieve those goals faster moving to Binance. Okay. Now, when you're talking about market cap size between BNB and AVAX, you're talking about like a 17 billion, roughly around there for AVAX, and about 90 billion, 86 billion last time I looked for BNB. There's also a 10 to 1 times more people using BNB than AVAX. So the team is hoping that the move to BNB will also increase their partnership. I was listening to Brian talk earlier in the space, and if you listen closely to what he said, he is hoping to go out and make partnerships in the Binance arena. All right, and being that, I mean, I would imagine if I was sitting in BioFi's shoes, right, making a partnership maybe with an exchange or something like that would bring in tremendous value. And so I think that's what they're going to try to do. Is I think they're trying to make some really significant partnerships to drive up the value and the price of the token. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see and have them announce what they're actually going to be doing. We have been talking about it, guessing on what they might be doing. But this first move to BNB chain is good one. So tomorrow on Wednesday, it's supposed to be, I think, at like 8 p.m. Eastern time, there's going to be a switch. They're going to halt trading on the AVAX token, and it's going to be moved to the BNB token. If you have your BioFi in any decentralized wallet, you should just get an airdrop of the BNB token. So do not look online for things to swap your token, or there's not supposed to be any of that. Okay, so if you see something that saying, hey, come swap your BioFi from AVAX to BNB, that's probably going to be a scam. Okay, so just understand that I will post as soon as I have the information of the new contract address. I will post it in the community for you to add it to your wallet. Okay, and if you're not familiar how to do this, like adding a token to your MetaMask is as simple as copying the token address, going into your MetaMask, and then going to import tokens, and then custom token, and copying and pasting, and it should come up. Right here's BioFi on the AVAX. So if you're trading on MEXC, anytime you just cash the token out, it'll go to the new BNB chain. All right, and the token will be traded on Uniswap, which is actually the biggest, one of the biggest dexes in the world, which should bring, I hope it brings more people into the BioFi ecosystem. I think that's what they're trying to do at the end of the day here. And, I've gotten people to ask, like, what is BioFi, and like, what are they trying to do, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of new people, so let me just go through this really quickly. They've built, over the last 6 to 7 years, the BioFi team has built out a bunch of different technology. Their main piece is this Phoenix phone that they've built out. They just went through CE testing, ICASA testing, which means that the phone can be sold in Africa. And so what they're trying to do here is combine all of their technology, their Unity SafeBox, their Cryptic Wallet, their SayTech, all into this Phoenix device. And actually, the phone is about $200. And for what you get in the phone, it actually is, it's a pretty decent phone. It's a 4G phone. They do have some goals to build out a 5G version of the phone. I don't think you're going to see that until like 2025. Realistically, they're trying to get this whole thing launched. They do need to update some of these photos on this website, though. I will talk to Brian about getting some updated pictures of the phone up here. But long story short, they have some contracts of several thousand phones already kind of sold. They need to put in their first order. They are looking to expand they are talking to investors to try to get some more money to create maybe 30, 40,000 phones. Depending on what you're getting it to manufacture. And so it'll be interesting to see what these guys do. I am holding my BioFi tokens. I do plan to taking massive profits though in this bull market, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm here to support projects. I'm here to help projects grow. I'm here to kind of give you my take on projects, but I'm also here to make money. All right. And I was pointing out that I was buying this token at its very low back in October. This token had bottomed out in October of 2023. And this thing actually did a 20x. I know it's hard to see from this charting thing, this chart here. But this thing went up to, let me see if I can get hold on. Man, 6 month, hold on. No, it's not playing. Let me pull this up on here. This thing went up to almost like half a penny. Yeah, check this out. Man, people always be calling me at wrong times. Okay, so this thing, we basically bought the low in October here, right? Right in this little category is when I was telling you, like right around this date is when I was telling you that I was buying BioFi. This thing went from 3019 to almost 004, right? So just under half a penny. This thing did a 20x already and has since come back down. And I don't know what this change to Binance is going to do for the token, but there's going to be more people to access the token, and I hope the price goes up. Obviously, if this thing gets to a few cents, I'm going to be taking 7 figures off the board here, and that's what I'm trying to do in this bull market. So make no mistake, I'll be looking to cash in. What I'm hoping is that some of these bigger partners that they're trying to sign up right now, once they start announcing this stuff, this will really kind of send the token into the stratosphere, is what I'm hoping. I know what partnerships they're working on. I can't say it because of an NDA. I can tell you though, if they're able to get that partnership, it will be pretty insane for all the token holders. It'll be truly fantastic. So anyways, let's just talk about a little bit of what's going on with the rest of the market here. if you have some more direct questions about BioFi, come into Cryptonairz, ask them. I will answer directly, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what happens. When you're talking about Bitcoin over the last 10 to 12 years, for the most part, Bitcoin's been pretty green. There's been a few years that it's been negative. 2024 will definitely be a green year. If you see this kind of happens in 3-year cycles, like you have 3 green years and a red year, 3 green years and a red year, 3 green years and a red year. And so we're on the second year, right? So we should have another year or two of green candles, hopefully, with Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. People are saying that the crypto market could top out at 10 or 12 trillion dollars. That would be a really great case for crypto. I think we're right around 2.3, maybe 2.2 trillion dollars in total market cap right now for the entire crypto market. I do think as this expands, you are going to see a lot more value in some of these tokens that we are liking. Also, U.S. government holds a lot of Bitcoin, right? They're one of the top 10 holders or 5 holders of Bitcoin in the world, and we really don't know what the government is ever going to do with their Bitcoin, if they're going to sell it into the market or hold on to it. We kind of paying attention. You can actually go track all this stuff at Arkham. This is kind of what you're seeing here on this screen. This is actually a really cool place to track wallets and information. Hourglass did a raise earlier today. Let me just really show you this really quickly. It was about a project called Twig. I did a live stream in Cryptonairz about what my feelings were for this project. When I looked at this, anytime Hourglass does a raise, we kind of do a live event here where I go through the project. I give you my live opinion on what I think about the project. I didn't love a few things about this particularly. One was the following. You have had a Twitter account since February, and it doesn't seem like the team has done anything to expand the current community. Their Telegram channel has like 16 followers. And so what I thought here was, if this token were to launch either next month or later this month or whatever it is, and they have this small of a following, it's going to be very difficult for this token to move, right? If you look at something like Protocol Twin, which was their last launch, their last token, this has 52,000 followers, right? And it's coming out of the Ajax ecosystem. So this is going to have a lot easier time to move, I think, and more value to come into this than this last project that they just had today. So I didn't, I wasn't participating. I mean, you really couldn't being in the U.S., but as somebody that I was saying that if I could have participated, I probably wouldn't. I'm saving my money for something that really kind of stands out to me. Now, there could be a use case for this, powering a new era of content discoverability based on transparent social capital system. It was very, we were listening to the AMA earlier, and I was asking people that were listening, and it was, people were kind of bored in there listening to the description of what was going on, and it was very hard to kind of keep track of what's happening here. So this was a hard pass for me. If you got in, let me know what you think. The only one thing I did like about this was the market cap. The market cap on this is launching at 686,000. There's only a small TGE though. I think it's like 8.5%, which means you'll get 8.5% of whatever money you put in when the token launches in the token. And so 8.5 vesting, 12-month. This just didn't sing to me, so I passed. But this is probably still open. There was only about 30 or 40 people in the live event that Hourglass did this, and I highly doubt that this thing sold out. So if you're still interested in this, obviously I will post this in the Discord. But just be very careful. There's not a lot of action on that. BioFi chart since the fall is up 434%. That's good to know, man. Yeah, I mean, it's probably up more than that, bro, to be honest with you, right? Because we called it at 3 zeros and like 1 6, right? So this is actually up about 10x from actually the very bottom, right? This is still up about 10x, maybe 8x. Let me see here. What else is going on here? So DMorg actually posted about this project in dgen chat. This is called SoulSex. I'm still kind of on the fence on how good this is going to do. He called this at 1.5 million. I actually put about $500-600 into this, so I'm up about $10,000 on this project. And so DMorg thinks this could probably go to 50 or 100 million. He's looking at Radium and some other dexes on Solana. And I don't know. I'm up an extra $10,000 this week because of this call. So I wanted a big shout out to DMorg. If you're not paying attention to this like meme coin dgen channel, a lot of people are doing a lot of hard work. So if it's a channel under the crypto section, you should pay attention to this channel. There's a lot of really good people and information being exchanged and ideas being exchanged in this channel. A lot of people tracking bigger Telegram groups. And I've made some decent money out of this channel in the last few months. So just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that are hustling and sharing all of that alpha inside of that channel. Also, always is so the person that shared No Chill with me shared this project called Hefe, and I shared it with the community a few weeks ago at I think it was at $150K or $200,000 market cap. It took a little bit of time to kind of, it was consolidating for quite some time here in between. And then it kind of shot off, and this went up to 850, 900,000 market cap. And this has come back down a little bit. And you can see that a volume really kind of ticked up, and there's a lot of marketing going around this project. Guys, understand this is a degen project. I don't know if this is going to be hugely successful. This is all community based. But this went up, 300 or 400% since I had posted about it. The person that gave me No Chill and gave me Hefe also put me on to Always. And so Always is a project that is still a very, very low market cap. And I really don't know what's going to happen with this project. But this thing is sitting at $17,000 market cap. He believes in this project. I'm still holding some tokens. This thing went up. We got in about $10,000. This thing went up to about 50,000 market cap, and it's back down to 17,000. I have no idea. This is super freaking risky. So I'm not recommending obviously anyone going out and participating in any of this stuff. This is very, very high risk, but I'm just showing you some of the things that I am taking a risk on right now, which is SolSex, Hefe, and this Always project. I hope this kind of comes back up. All right. Let me keep going here. So let's talk about some real use cases. So we've talked about, the degen side of crypto. We've talked a little bit about what's going on with BioFi and the token drop. There's a lot of things happening right now with the BIS, and they're having the Innovation Summit 2024 that's happening 6th, 7th, and 8th. And there's some really interesting clips coming out of this, talking about tokenization, talking about DLT, talking about the new forms of payments and money. I just want to play a little bit of this and start and just give you some of my context because, we are here to talk about real use cases in crypto. And check us out.
The question is how. In my view, there are two distinct but complementary approaches: small steps and giant leaps. By small steps, I mean tweaks and improvements to existing financial systems and infrastructures. This approach has its place. It can deliver quick wins, timely improvements in the quality and efficiency of financial services that come at relatively little cost. It is comparatively low risk, an important consideration when dealing with critical infrastructure. And it can help allay concerns that financial innovation could disadvantage smaller financial institutions and less technologically sophisticated consumers. But incremental change also has its limitations. The need to look backwards to ensure compatibility with legacy systems constrains what new ones can deliver. As the layers build, the constraints become more binding, eventually holding back innovative developments. This is why I believe that sometimes we need giant leaps that deliver a fundamental rethink of the financial system and foster the development of entirely new architectures. Let me give you a concrete example of a giant leap. Tokenization is, in my view, a technology with transformative potential for the financial system. Tokenized digital assets contain both the information necessary to uniquely identify assets and their owners, as well as the rules and logic governing their use. When correctly used, tokens could increase the speed, lower the cost, and heighten the efficiency of financial transactions.
So increase the speed, lower the cost, and increase financial transactions. That's what they're trying to do here, right? They're trying to take the best of both worlds. I actually had somebody come into the YouTube Dual Citizen. I've known Dual Citizen for a little bit of time. He said he was an XRP Las Vegas. He said he was talking to Quincy Jones, who is a XRP XDC developer. And he actually said that I met Quincy in Vegas. He's an XDC dev. He said that the whole stock market is going to be tokenized and run on the XDC network. If you're still in the chat, is that the U.S. stock market or is that more kind of overseas stock market, right? Because that would be the question I would ask, right? I know that they have some big connections with R3, but I'm wondering which stock market you're talking about, U.S. or global.
Note my qualifier, correctly used. It is important. By themselves, tokenized assets could improve the financial system only incrementally. If tokens were to trade through existing financial pipes, they would have to rely on the same long and complex sequences of messages passed back and forth between financial institutions. And these complex sentences are the cause of many costs and delays in today's financial system. To unleash the promise of tokenization, i.e. to deliver a giant leap, we need to bring the different kinds of tokens together. Commercial bank money, central bank money, tokens on different assets. Unified ledgers are the platforms where this can happen. Once these different tokens are brought together in the same programmable platforms, new functionalities can be deployed, like smart contracts and composability. With them, sequences of transactions could be automated and seamlessly integrated. This would eliminate the need for manual interventions and redundant compliance controls.
All right. I'm going to give you this clip, guys. It gets a little kind of tedious with him just kind of going on. There's one more clip that I found that I want to play for you, a little bit more context about kind of mBridge and some other things that are happening. It's right here, actually. I'm not going to play this full clip for you. I'm just going to play the beginning of this clip, but this is some really interesting stuff. So give me 1 second. Let me play this for you.
So let's go back to what Project mBridge is. It is a shared payment infrastructure that uses CBDC, in particular wholesale CBDC, of the participating central banks to achieve instant cross-border payments. So having listened to the panel just now, a lot of the concepts that they talked about, wholesale CBDC, one platform, interoperable by design, settlement finality, two-tier, atomic settlement, that's what we're seeking to achieve with the mBridge. So in terms of the history of the mBridge, it goes back to a proof of concept in 2021, then a prototype and a pilot in 2022, continued development and testing throughout 2023, 2024, and now we are quite close to reaching the MVP stage, or the minimum viable product. That's what MVP stands for. The mBridge has been built on 3 key pillars. We always thought it is critical to not just think about technology, but to think about legal and governance. And we thought about them in parallel to thinking about the technology. It is often that you develop a technology and then you realize you're missing the legal and the governance aspect. We did not want it to be there, so we have a parallel process. So let me elaborate on each of these 3 tiles. So the first one is the technology. It is, as you might know by now, if you've read the reports, it is a decentralized network. That means it is built on distributed ledger technology, and each of the central banks is operating a node. It is open sourced to the participant central banks. That means that the participant central banks each can check the code, penetration test the code, review and audit the code. It is Ethereum virtual machine, or EVM, compatible. What this means is that any smart contracts that are built on Ethereum become interoperable with the mBridge. So let's see if at any stage these smart contracts that are being developed, for example, for automated market makers, come to the right level of maturity to be usable in a central banking context, then there is already this compatibility. The system is also ISO 20022 enabled. This is very important for new financial market infrastructures, as it is the new standard. The system is privacy preserving. What that means is that every central bank only sees the transactions in its own CBDC, and that is very important. As I mentioned, the central banks are deploying the validator nodes, and each of the 4 participating central banks has deployed their validator node already. And then lastly, the commercial banks deploy ordinary nodes. I will show you a demo towards the end of this presentation. So now let me move to the exciting side, the legal side.
All right, we don't need to hear about the legal side
is the law.
because that gets a little tedious, right? But there was this clip right here, great video of Project mBridge, which is featured in Quant recent video. Let me play this real quick.
We built a platform.
So it sounds like the technology that the BIS is talking about is built on Quant. Let me play this.
And the platform follows something that we call the common platform approach. I'll spend a little bit of time kind of looking at this high-level network topology, explaining what the platform does, and then I'll move and talk a little bit about the pilot itself. So I think that if there's one image that kind of represents how the platform works, I think it would be this one right here. So the common platform approach, really you can think about that as the circle that's in the middle. What's important about this circle is that it imposes a certain amount of common standards that are specific around kind of the settlement infrastructure. So it's a common settlement infrastructure for all the participants on the network. It's worthy to note that the participants on the network, as you can see, moving from the center outwards, are the central banks, and then the commercial banks corresponding to each central bank. The corporates and any other business function users actually sit outside the platform and request transactions from the direct participants on the platform. So there's a distinction between direct participants that are central banks and regulated financial institutions and everybody else that would sit outside the platform. Within the perimeter of the platform is divided up into 4 quadrants, in this case because we had 4 participants. If there would be more participants, which there will be in future phases of this work, of course those quadrants would get smaller and smaller pizza slices. Each quadrant represents a sovereign jurisdiction. You can think of each quadrant as being sponsored by the central bank that represents that jurisdiction. The onboarding and offboarding of the commercial banks is done by that central bank, and there are certain rules that can be there are certain rules that can be relevant to each quadrant that are mostly around custody of funds. So you can think about the fact that the central bank is the governing structure on their quadrant, and that central bank not only can onboard and offboard their commercial banks, but they can also set different custodial rules for their commercial banks. At the center of the platform, of course, lie the central banks, and what you can see is a little bit of a difference between the arrows that connect those central banks versus the arrows that connect the commercial banks. What that means to indicate is that the central banks that sit at the center of the platform are fully connected and effectively operate the consensus protocol of the platform itself, meaning that they're the ones that operationally kind of keep the platform up and running. So on top of that, so we have 2 layers. We have the circle that is the common settlement structure. We have the quadrants that are superimposed on top of that are the individual jurisdictions. And then overlaid on top of that, the third kind of layer that you should think about in the topology are the arrows themselves. And the arrows you can think of as the pipes through which the CBDC moves. And you can see that the pipes form a connected graph between the central banks running the consensus protocol, and all of the commercial banks effectively feed into the central banks who operate the platform.
Okay, really quickly. So just so you know, this is corporates on the outside here, right? These are corporations. These on this ring right here are commercial banks, right? Your Chase, your Santanders, your HSBCs, all that stuff. And these things in the middle right here are the central banks. And so all of these transactions, of course, go through the commercial banks into the central banks and vice versa. All right. So just how you understand this structure is corporates, commercial, and then central banks in the middle.
These arrows can move independently. The pipes move independently of the jurisdictions, meaning that, of course, a CBDC that's issued within one jurisdiction can freely float into other jurisdictions, enabling this peer-to-peer settlement in central bank money domestic to the context of the transaction. What are the key attributes of the platform itself? There's 6 of them that are noteworthy. The first one is that we have central bank money on ledger, so central bank money that is issued directly onto the ledger. The next one is the ability to take offshore delivery, and this is probably the most significant departure from the current model, is the ability to accept central bank money in an offshore jurisdiction. The third one is settlement finality. So the platform enables point-to-point instant settlement with finality in real time 24/7. The fourth one is integration with RTGS systems. So the mBridge platform doesn't require as a prerequisite having a domestic CBDC. The fifth one is atomic payment versus payment. So the ability to do PVP transactions in an atomic way, such that the transaction settles if and only if the other leg of the transaction settles. So atomic comes from the word indivisible. So you can't separate them into 2 single transactions. They either settle together or nothing at all. And then the last one is single platform interoperability. It connects central banks and commercial banks across jurisdictions because we're using this single common platform.
All right. So people ask me kind of like, hey, what's the technology here? The technology is Quant. Okay. QNT sitting at about $1.17 billion market cap. This has a lower supply than Bitcoin. Yes, it has a lower supply than Bitcoin. This thing has only 14,800,000 and some change coins. There's only 12,072,000 tokens that are circulating right now. I do feel that, if Quant is obviously adopted by all of these central banks, it's one of these tokens that I think could have the same price, $10,000, $20,000 one day. I think this definitely could go into the 100 billion, 500 billion. Even I think this could be as high as $1 trillion or higher, because if you start bringing in all of this value that is in central bank money, digital currencies, any tokenized deposits, any of that kind of stuff, you could really be talking about a lot of money here. And so Quant is definitely Quant. XRP obviously is a token that I'm holding long term. You have XDC, which a lot of people feel is the TradeFi token. This is one of the lowest market caps out of all these tokens that we're talking about here. This is only $510 million. This is at 3.67 cents. And of course, you have XLM Stellar, which is always sitting right here at about $3 billion market cap. None of these tokens are very exciting about maybe the last, few years. They haven't really moved as much as some other projects. So, this is obviously more of kind of a longer term outlook and goal. You're really trying to invest in the new financial system, and you believe that these tokens will be significant, the impact on the way value moves, around the planet in the future. And so those are the 4 assets. Of course, there's also HBAR. These are the type of assets that we really don't know when the trillions and trillions of dollars will come into play, and when these things will kind of just go absolutely berserk. But these are really what the new systems are being built and based off of. Okay, so I thought those clips were really good. There's a few other things that obviously that I want to get to, so let's go ahead and keep going down this chat. This is also a clip from Digital Perspectives. This is Brad Kimes' channel. This is actually from James Wallace from Ripple, head of CBDC Central Bank Engagement. XRP Ledger is one of the models being discussed for mBridge within the BIS. So I think this is actually from August 11, 2023. And so, I see people talking about XRP with mBridge. I see people talking about Quant with mBridge. And I think there's going to be different technologies and different options that are going to be available to central banks. But let me play this too.
right? We're using the same technology that is with the XRP ledger. The token would be the CBDC, right? So the central bank would actually create their own token, a digital euro, digital dollar, whatever the market is, and that becomes the digital asset.
So that becomes a digital asset. Keep listening.
The native coin.
The native coin, yeah. Now, where XRP could come into play potentially is when you're looking at cross-border CBDC. So when you have a digital dollar and you have a digital, real, or digital pound, you obviously need to have some way to interact cross-border. Yeah. So I think the BIS call this a multi-CBDC model. One of the ideas is you use a sort of a neutral bridge currency to go from one to the other, similar to the model I explained earlier, with our on-demand liquidity. But the core offering really is not XRP. There's no XRP involved. It's the native token is the CBDC.
And so how this was, how these things work is the value gets built out onto these systems or these blockchains, and the value lives on those blockchains, and that increases the price of those blockchains with more value, right? So if you put $1 trillion worth of value into the Quant ecosystem, that would dramatically raise the price of the token, right? Or any token for that matter. It does look like Quant nodes are coming. I've seen some people talking about this. I don't know what the specifications are going to be and how much Quant you need to own, or if it's going to be something else different. But this is interesting. Let me play this 50-second clip.
It would be nice to think that at some stage we might be able to move towards some kind of what I call a virtual layer one concept, which is whether people are running on different technologies, they can act together as if they're the same layer one. If we're going to experience positive network effects and get hundreds of institutions operating on a virtual layer one, then we need to solve the interoperability, and we need to start the conversation going about how we actually encourage people to run nodes.
This regulated liability network, CBDCs, stocks, bonds, stable coins, e-monies, all regulated money in the world will be running on.
You're talking about quadrillions of dollars, right? Really kind of into this new ecosystem. Now, the Reserve Bank of India is also working on offline payments. You will know that any part of the CBDCs, you need offline payments. What are offline payments? Being able to make a payment when you're not connected to the internet. That is what we're talking about here. Let me just play a little bit of this.
RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das was speaking at the BIS summit earlier this evening, where he spoke about the transformative potential of CBDCs. He adds how the central bank has increased the improbability of UPI and the CBDC for better user experience. Here's what he said.
The digital rupee CBDC currently has fixed denominations similar to physical currency. This makes it easier for users to relate to CBDC as a digital form of cash. We are of course open to other design choices and will try them out in our future pilots. We are working on making the CBDC transferable in the offline mode also. We are also introducing programmability features to promote financial inclusion and provide other value-added services under CBDC. We have also recently announced the participation of non-banks in the pilot, with the expectation that their reach can be leveraged for distribution of CBDCs and for providing value-added services. Under the retail CBDC pilot in India, the feedback from the users reaffirmed the need for a connect between fast payment systems, that is UPI in our case, and the CBDC. We have combined the CBDC QR code with the UPI QR code and made it a single point of acceptance. We have also introduced interoperability between UPI and CBDC.
I like that they have like the intense music playing in the background, right? It's just kind of funny. All right. This was something being thrown around in the dgen chat, so I'm not going to really get into that right now. It looks like Kraken is shutting down some type of services in New York on June 1st. I think that we have seen a flurry of SEC activity, and you are having some big centralized exchanges kind of saying no to some markets because they don't want to. They want to get sued. This is about the Tradeverse. I don't want to get into that right now. Let me. So all right. So this is really what we should be talking about. SEC Chair Gary Gensler and is an Ethereum ETF coming soon, right? So he's doing his rounds. He's talking about there's a lot of things happening. Robinhood. There's things happening with Ethereum. A lot of people are saying now that they don't think an Ethereum ETF is coming in 2024. Let me just go ahead and play this.
The big question in crypto land right now is Ethereum a commodity or is Ethereum a security?
You gotta love this.
And therefore, will there one day be an ETF? That's the fundamental question on the table in crypto land. You agree?
Oh, you're the one that's out there asking the questions. All I would say is, to me, the fundamental question is how do we ensure that the American investor is protected? And right now, they're not getting the required or needed disclosures. And the intermediaries in the center of this rather centralized market generally are conflicted and doing things we would never allow the New York Stock Exchange to do. The New York Stock Exchange is not allowed to trade against the investors.
Okay, but let me ask you about this. You've seen the consensus lawsuit, and I know you have a Wells notice with them as well. This is Patrick Henry saying the following, and I want you to respond to it. Just months after a federal judge sanctioned SEC enforcement lawyers for lying in court, new evidence shows that Chair Gary Gensler himself misled Congress. The testimony to the Financial Services Committee last April, Chair Gensler refused to answer questions about the SEC's classification of Ether, and new court filings show this was an intentional attempt to misrepresent the Commission's position.
We speak to Congress directly in hearings like that and also directly to members, and we share with them accurately what we're doing so that the viewers can also understand we don't speak about whether we have an investigation or whether we don't have an investigation, and we don't speak about whether somebody is, in our opinion, not following the law unless we actually bring a case. So we stay quiet on many questions that you might ask at this live interview or even
but ultimately
in
should investors,
a congressional hearing.
There's a lot of folks who bought Ethereum expecting that one day there will be potentially an ETF and that it will be considered a genuine security that's tradable on these exchanges. Will that happen?
Again, that's something in front of our commission right now. We're a 5-member commission, and those filings will take up at the appropriate time.
All right, just so you're aware, guys, and I know a lot of people that are maybe new to crypto, and a lot of people that are in crypto maybe not know this, but the SEC has to approve any ETF. And the only reason the Bitcoin ETF got approved was because of some lawsuits that had happened. And let me see if there's... here, this is what I want to show you. This is from Delta Blockchain founder and general partner Kavita Gupta does not expect an Ethereum ETF this year given the stance of the SEC. Let me just play this for you, okay?
If you were to look across the landscape right now at all the publicly traded companies that are in the space, which one do you think is most susceptible to SEC enforcement or regulatory risk?
I think if you look at crypto space, like we recently got a bunch of Web2 companies actually getting it, like Robinhood. I think I don't see susceptibility, I would say, for the word. The reason for that, to be very honest with you, would be where is the definition? I think all we're going to see a lot of noise and a lot of these companies really pushing back on SEC. And given the time horizon of the election, which everybody is looking at, where is this SEC and what is the mindset going to be? I don't think we're going to have any clarity on it at all. And if I have to pick one company, honestly, I feel that would be unfair because everybody is getting Wells notices based on the same thing. Hey, you may be trading security, but what are those securities? Have you clarified anything on it? It's still a question mark. There is no clarity on it. And so there are no answers to it. Said that, with Bitcoin being very clear and having so many ETFs, I'm not expecting ETH ETF this year for sure, given the SEC stand. But does that make any of the traditional hedge funds who have been holding ETH on their balance sheet a question? I personally don't think so.
What about for developers? If you're sitting here looking to develop on one of the existing chains, and there's so much uncertainty around how they'll be treated from a regulatory perspective, how much risk does that create, particularly because it could limit the amount of capital that could flow into those projects?
Yeah, so we are seeing, and I've been talking about this for over 2 years, we are seeing massive movement, brain drain, I would say, a lot of amazing talent leaving US when they're building on the blockchain crypto space. And I think we're going to see a bunch of it if the AI data regulations, which are also clamping down on the same direction. But in the blockchain crypto space, whether you're building on Bitcoin, whether you're building on Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, we are continuously seeing major tech talent moving to places like Dubai, Lisbon, Hong Kong, Singapore, and not having US, definitely not with respect to registration or even sharing in that tax dollar, just on the fear you are legal in the rest of the world, but you are in a gray area in one country for no reason, for changing nothing. And I think that should be a very big worry for the US economy.
Yeah, I mean, she's not lying, right? You're talking about countless jobs, countless tax dollars. The US is handling crypto just all wrong. They've fumbled it so hard. And it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing to be an American and just see how bad our Congress and our Senate have just put crypto to the back burner and just not taking it seriously. But what do you guys think? Is an Ethereum ETF coming? It doesn't feel like it to me. It really doesn't feel like it to me. All right, let's get into a few other things that I wanted to talk about. You have the SEC's statutory mission is to protect investors, facilitate capital and information, and maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets. Chairman Gensler is violating 3 of these with his legal SAB 121 rule. So this is kind of some more boring stuff. Let me just play a little bit of this. So this is actually the Republican House. God, I can't remember this guy's name. But anyways, Tom Emmer is the majority whip. Basically, he whips all the votes on the Republican side in Congress. Let me play this for you. Talking about Gary Gensler.
Chairman Gary Gensler's tenure at the SEC has been characterized by regulatory hypocrisy, inconsistency, and incompetence. The Securities and Exchange Commission's Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, commonly known as SAB 121, is just one example of Chair Gensler's egregious attempts to expand the SEC's authority and his clear bias toward the digital asset ecosystem. More than 2 years ago, the SEC disguised this illegal rule as guidance, circumventing Congress and public input so they could prevent banks from safeguarding consumer-owned digital assets. However, this rule isn't just overreaching and illegal, it violates the SEC's statutory mission. First, SAB 121 introduces more unnecessary and avoidable concentration risk into the digital asset ecosystem, making our markets less fair, less orderly, and less efficient. Second, it weakens investor protections by barring Americans from using the established banking infrastructure to custody their digital assets, which leaves Americans' assets more vulnerable if a custodian becomes insolvent. And third, this rule hampers capital formation and global competitiveness as foreign banks already have the ability to compete in crypto markets while our banks cannot. The SEC's statutory mission is to protect investors, facilitate capital formation, and maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets. Chairman Gensler is violating all three of these with his illegal SAB 121 rule.
All right. You basically have just chaos here in America with crypto. So it doesn't feel like this is going to get solved anytime soon. Usually it takes something breaking in order for Congress and regulators to kind of work together to get this all figured out. It feels like crypto is going to develop and grow offshore. And as the U.S. gets more and more pressure put onto it, as you have like the UK, Japan, Australia, Canada, South America, pretty much all of Europe. You have a lot of the Middle East that are moving forward with crypto adoption and taxation and giving companies and people that work in those industries huge tax breaks to come and live and work there. The U.S. is going to be left behind here. But let me just go real quickly to YouTube here. We have 70 people watching. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. DD Sin D, please. Sorry if I said your name wrong. I'm reading from a little bit further away. It says, I don't have much money to put into crypto, so I'm going to concentrate on XRP, XLM, XCC, HBAR, and ISO 20022. So just, I will give you my full opinion on the crypto market right now. we are still in a very speculative crypto market. We have not fully reached adoption phase of the crypto market. So what you're seeing is people are speculating on what they feel the price of an asset should be. Obviously, if you have more people speculating on an asset and they think it'll go higher, you have the price kind of being pushed higher by this speculation going around, and the community is a big portion of that, right? Once we get to a place where crypto is fully regulated globally and we all have the same type of rules, so digital assets, tokenized value can move across borders seamlessly, that is really when I believe your ISO tokens will come into play. Nobody has the crystal ball of when that is going to happen. You do have like Mika going into effect in the European Union in late 2024, early 2025. MMT can correct me on that because he tracks all that stuff a little bit better than I do since he is on that side of the pond. But the US is still the biggest crypto market in the world, and we don't know what we are doing day to day. The SEC has been suing everybody under the sun. They have kind of gotten their butts handed to them recently by Ripple, it looks like by Coinbase, and by some other players in the crypto industry, and they just want some wins, and so they're going to sue as many people as they can and hope that these companies settle with them because they don't have maybe the enough funds or the years to go ahead and fight them. So it's very difficult to see where we're going to be, but I do think some of the assets that you have said are assets that I think will still be around 5 years, 10 years, and maybe even after that we are gone, right? Because we look at crypto market as, in cycles. We are going to have a cycle into 2025, then we will get back into some type of bear market, and then we were going to have a bigger cycle again, hopefully. I do think there's going to be a big bust cycle in crypto, just like you saw on the early .com days, that a lot of, there's thousands of companies, but only a few hundred will make it. That's why I think that, having assets like what you just brought up can be significantly benefit and value to you down the road. I don't know how big these assets will blow up in the current bull market. The hard part is with some of these assets that have been around for a few cycles is the community, it's still there, but people are kind of focused on other stuff. When things are currently happening and are very exciting, you're having more people engage and more retail customers are coming back into crypto. There's so much happening in 2024, so it really is hard to narrow down where people's attention spans are going to go. Right now, you have AI, which is a very hot narrative. DePIN, which is decentralized infrastructure, is a hot narrative. Of course, GambleFi, GameFi, these are all hot narratives in crypto right now. You have Runes, in the Bitcoin ecosystem, that's a hot narrative. So, if you, of course, it's good to have some of these ISO assets that we think are still going to be here, but also to mix it up in some of these other assets maybe that are currently the hottest narratives right now, like AI and DePIN are two really hot narratives that I'd be focused on in 2024 into 2025. Just trying to be a little bit transparent and give you some value here. Qubic is one of those projects that I think you should be paying attention to here. The current market cap of this is, this is self-reported, so it's very hard. Let me see if I can pull this up on Deck Screener. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Qubic. I don't like self-reported market caps because, oh man. Does Qubic multi-chain to Solana? No. This is a scam token. All right. CoinMarketCap is reporting this. You know what? CoinGecko. Let's see if I can get this for you. Qubic is a very, very complicated project, but we have been talking about Qubic for several months, since 2023 inside of Cryptonairz. Yeah, see, I can't get the official market cap. Let me just read this for you real quick. Qubic, the native token of the L1 blockchain Qubic, has surged 21% in the last 24 hours as analysts predict 1,000x potential rise. All right. Guys, always, do some due diligence and who is the analyst predicting this? Sometimes with these crypto news places, they just take, anybody's opinion on Twitter and they turn that into a crypto analyst, right? At the time of writing, Qubic is trading at, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros and a 7 with 24-hour trading volume of 2.6 million, up 84% this year. The asset market cap is about $616 million. Qubic is an open source community-driven project focused on developing artificial intelligence AI infrastructure through decentralized network. That is a lot to say in a sentence, but I just said it. Led by the founder Sergey Ivanchiglo. Yes, I cannot read hard last names. The platform introduces novel concepts like useful proof of work, UPOW, and quorum consensus to empower global innovation. At its core in Argith, an advanced AI system that leverages billions of neural networks to mimic human brain complexity. Qubic's unique approach to initial public offerings or IPOs democratizes investment into blockchain technology, allowing users to directly invest in smart contracts and earn passive income. The latest surge in the Qubic token comes as a braver crypto, a noted trader on X, right? So this is the analyst. It's a trader on X, right? They always do this. Recently expressed a highly optimistic view of Qubic. I still think Qubic can do some pretty insane numbers. I don't know about 1,000x because that would just be pretty insane. But do know that I do think Qubic is one that you should be paying attention to in this market, especially on the AI narrative. There's a full breakdown on Qubic right here. I am going to share this Qubic. I'm going to share this inside of Cryptonairz because it's just a little easier for me to copy and paste it into this. Also, guys, do know that after I'm done with live streaming, I do take questions inside of the Discord community from my community. So if you guys want to join, there's a link down in the description of YouTube to do that. If you want to be a part of the community, and I just need to remind people that we have wap.com/Cryptonairz here. We have access to a lot of, an average retail person doesn't have access to the crypto market. They don't have access to good teams. They don't have access to good projects. They are simply just buying when projects launch. Getting into projects early is the most important thing that you can do in the crypto space. That is where I've made the most money. And we can help you, connect you to some of these projects and get you into some early opportunities if you so choose to. So I'm going to go ahead and share this on YouTube. Actually, it's in the link of the description. I don't need to share it. If you're interested in joining the community, we would love to have you. Let's get back to some information. So Qubic is pretty insane, guys. I don't fully understand everything Qubic offers. I'll be honest with you. It's very, very complex. One of the most complex projects I think I've ever run into. So take a look at that if you want to get some more information. Obviously, this is person sharing a Qubic versus Caspa chart about a week ago in their Discord. The price is now up 100%. So there's been an uptick in people talking about Qubic, talking about Caspa. I've noticed that it's starting to tick up here. There's also this really great thread or breakdown of different projects in different ecosystems. And so I wanted to show you this too because there's some good stuff here. So Rio was something that we wrote up. That was a really nice project that Rayon DeFi posted. GHX is something that I think is that Lawrence? I think it was Lawrence or iDeflect and or William. Somebody posted this in the community. This did some insane numbers. Of course, Qubic. There's Render, which is up a few 100% since we got into it at a few dollars. Caspa went up 24 or 2,500%. There's of course a project called Navi, Drive to Earn. Caspa, we wrote that up, like I said. Tau, we've been talking about Tau since it was $50. This is at like 600 now. It might have gone down since. I haven't looked at Tau in some time. There's GPT, which is AI. There's A0, which is DAG, proof of stake. Nakamoto Games, which is a GameFi ecosystem. You have Exchange, which is DeFi. Cody, right? Cody V2 is now out. That's probably something that's going to really do well in this market. You have FET, Injective, Trias. You have OXO, which is privacy and AI. Prop C, which is real world asset and tokenization. Vara, VRA, ad tech and streaming. I remember when these guys used to be gaming. We actually had them in for an AMA in 2021. They went a different direction, which is good to see. And then you have PAL AI, which is or PAL, which is AI bots. GFA, which is gaming. And there's a few other ones. Kuji, which is DeFi. Quant, interoperability, NXRA, which is business and tokenization, and then I've never heard of the coin token, but this is a great little thread about some really powerhouse projects. I called GHX in October. I think somebody called GXS before you even joined the community, son. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right. Unless JP called it, it's not official. It's not official. Okay, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for his calls. All right. So I thought this was really interesting.
Great investors are open.
There was this gentleman who gave a commencement speech at Ohio State in front of a ton of people, and he starts talking about Bitcoin, and see what happens. Check this out.
Great investors are open-minded and understand things before other people. So I know this might feel polarizing, but I encourage you to keep an open mind right now. I see Bitcoin as a very misunderstood asset class. It's decentralized and finite, which means no government can print more at will. In the early days, the exchanges for Bitcoin were prone to hacks and fraud, but the issue has been resolved with the recent launch of the Bitcoin ETFs backed by two of the world's largest asset managers, BlackRock and Fidelity. So anyone could hold these ETFs.
All right, you got to give it to the guy. He got booed by 60,000 people, and he still continued to say what he wanted to say. I respect it. It was probably tough to stand up there and start talking about Bitcoin, but hey, more power to him. This could be one of those moments where we look back in 5 or 10 years and we're like, man, that guy had, the balls to stand up and talk about Bitcoin at this commencement speech. And he got booed off stage, which is, he didn't get booed off stage, but he got booed. Anyways, Velo. I've been trying to update you guys about Velo because this is one of those tokens that keeps going up, and you gotta love it. What some of the market is not doing too good, but Velo keeps going up. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let me just go into some Velo updates here. So a lot of people have some I don't want to say crackhead prices for Velo, but I've seen a lot of just crazy stuff for Velo. This person thinks Velo is going to go to $2, which would be insane, right? This would be literally, 100x from where we are right now. And so I would be kind of speechless even if we got close to this price, but there's a lot of people that do have high targets for Velo. This person is pointing out that Velo is about to break out here to maybe 5 cents. There's not a lot of resistance, so if it does break out above kind of where we are, we're kind of sandwiched right here, we will be taking off here. Here's some targets for Velo. The first target is 6.2 cents. A second target is 9.2 cents, and third target is 30 cents for Velo. As you can see here, here's the resistance levels here: 6.5 cents, 9.2 cents, and then 30 cents. If we can blast past this 9.2, this resistance of 9.2 cents, it is going to be on. There's no other resistance till 30 cents, guys. So this is getting ready to go. Pay attention. All right. Volume is slowly coming back. Velo, $161 million market cap, $44 million in volume. Guys, I own about 2 million Velo. Let's get it. Let's get it. Peak. The Peak token launch will take place on CoinList from Thursday, May 9th until Thursday, May 16th. A lot of you have asked me about this. I have shared this with you in multiple Sensei chats. Okay, if you want to participate, you need to register in KYC, open on CoinList, and don't forget to fund your account if you want access to Peak. Guys, Peak is a dgen project, real world assets. This is going to be some type of monster. The partnerships are real. Let me just show you these partnerships. They're kind of insane. Bosch, Airbus, Continental, GIX, and NTT, which is a Japanese company. This is one of those situations where you should be paying attention. All right. Definitely should be paying attention. All right. Questions from the audience. CoinList, take Plow ID. I don't work at CoinList. You will have to go ahead and find that out. I have not got that far, my friend. I got sent the information this morning, giving it to you. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know if it works, though, for real. I was offered a KOL round, but I can't pass KYC, so I don't think Plow ID works, but you never know. Let me see here. From YouTube, XRP, XLM, HBAR is a very low in price when we take in the world's money. Yes, very true. Which is about 300 trillion. All that becomes crypto. Divide all the trillions up into all of the best coins exist. It's more than that, Jonas. It's more than 300 trillion. Just debt is 300 trillion. Real estate is 350 trillion. And then you're not even including stock, bonds, equities, money market funds. You're not including any of that stuff. So your number it needs to be way higher, my friend. Way, way, way higher. I posted your gains so far on Velo. Mahalo. You know what? Let me see Alpha Bravo. See, you have to create an account here. I can't do that live on thing, but go create an account. See if you can do it. I will ask the woman that works for Peak if we're able to get into it without. I know you need KYC not in the US. I don't know if it works. We'll have to see. Altcoin Daily put out this price targets for 2024. Just to let you know, some of these price targets are doable, and some of these price targets are wishful thinking. Okay, and I'll leave it up to you to decide which is which. But let's just go through some of these real quick. So Altcoin Daily put this out. Bitcoin 120,000. I could definitely see that. Ethereum 8,800. Sure. I think if an ETF comes, even without an ETF, Ethereum probably could hit these numbers, but I don't know. Is that exciting to anybody? A 2x. Solana 720. Man, remember when we were talking about Solana. I gave you kind of my price prediction on Solana when it was like $20. I thought I said I think Solana could go $500-600 easy. This person's saying 720. Link to 120. Chainlink is a vital, important part of the crypto Oracle, crypto ecosystem. Link is probably one of those projects that are still going to be here many years from now. Definitely needed. BNB 1,800. Insane numbers for BNB. ICP $460, Tau to 2,100, right? Like if you're looking at this list and you're like, man, like, Render's like at $10 right now. That's an 8x. Does anyone still own ADA? I don't. I can't. I kind of said no to ADA after what's his name. I just don't like the founder. What's ICP at? Let me just pull this up real quick. Let's look at some of these numbers. Why we're doing this. ICP is at $12, so this is like maybe like a 30x from where we are right now. Okay. Injective 220, DOT 99, Ondo. I know there's a lot of people in the community like Ondo and BlackRock partnership. XRP to $5. This is a pure speculation price, right? Knowing XRP, it'll probably stay at 60 cents until it moves to whatever, right? It's hard and painful being an XRP holder, knowing that you're really close to mass adoption and the token price does not show what the true value of that protocol is. But hey, it's okay. We will keep learning and we will keep growing. Doge to 190. Okay. Ton network, right? Ton ecosystem. I do think there's a lot of value here. This is Telegram's blockchain. You are going to be able to send USDT through Telegram to different Telegram users. Ton ecosystem. You're going to have a lot of dgen. You're going to have a lot of really good projects built out on Ton. Pay attention to Ton. AVAX to 350. This is actually, about a 10x from where we are right now. Of course, Near protocol. Man, we had Near in for an AMA like many, many moons ago. This is at $7.21 right now. This is saying 130. So that is a nice gain if they're able to do that. Propi 17. This is tokenized real estate. POW, right? $8. Matic 480. ERN. Who that was QNT was talking about ERN, right? I had bought some ERN before the price kind of went down. This is at $5 right now. Altcoin Daily thinks ERN can go to $180, which is a lot room to grow. Caspa 250, Uniswap $150. HBAR $80. What is HBAR at right now? Let me see. HBAR 10 cents. Okay. All right, that would be a huge jump in price, right? I mean, to $10 is 100x, right? Am I doing that math right? 10 cents. Wow, that would probably $80. That would be a nice pickup. Atom $128. Whiff dgen coin 25. Damn, can you imagine a whiff at $25? I think it's like $3 or $4 now. LimeWire 33. IMX, right? They're going to be launching 200 games in 2024. I definitely I can see this price going this high. VeChain. Anyone still own VeChain? Bro, $5, 7 years and $5. Yeah, Mundi, I feel you. I feel you, man. Trust me. Gala 99 cents, man, I would kiss somebody if Gala went even close to 99 cents. I think this is kind of like high pie in the sky type pricing. Track $21, XCAD, Cody $3, Super, Filecoin $236, TET $100. Man, when did we were talking about TET before it made that move, last move, Tectum. Man, this has a very low supply. This only has 10 million supply, so this thing could take off pretty soon here. Mina 25, AIT 630. There's some pretty interesting price targets here. I don't know if all these tokens get close to what these price targets are, but I would assume this is a 10 or 12 trillion dollar market. This would be a very insane supercharged market. He didn't have QNT on that list unless I see Goofy Gophers pays out in ADA. What is a Goofy Gopher? And what? Is that real? Is that real? Minting company? Oh, okay. QNT called to earn at $5. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm more interested to see what like Twin Protocol goes to, right? Or something like that. Used to recommend it in passive income. I'm sure it was Cass that recommended that. It was probably Cass or Lawrence. I don't really mess with something called Goofy Gophers. I don't think. Unless this is like 2021, man. Could be 2021. H-bar is going to $80. What? Hold on. There's a big heart in the middle of what you're trying to say. Hold on. Let me just type in something here. What analysis did they do? I have no idea, man. I think they smoked a ton of weed and they just put whatever numbers that they thought would stand out and be shared by a ton of people. That's what it feels like to me. So, I think this is definitely some just pie in the sky type of numbers. This is some, like, some of this stuff isn't truly that hard to believe. Like Tau going to $2,100, that's not hard to believe. Bitcoin going to 120,000, Ethereum going to 8,000. Like, these are believable. 720 for Solana, these are believable. But like some of these other things are kind of, I don't know. Hopium pipe, yes, they are sharing the Hopium pipe. Filecoin $40 maybe. All right, let's stop streaming so we can get into some business here. I'm going to end the broadcast. If anyone wants to join the Cryptonairz broadcast, just come back in to the community through the link. It is a free and open chat. You don't have to pay to be in Tuesday chat. So I will see you in the community. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I will see you next Tuesday.